Hello, good morning, guys. How are you? And you're all welcome back again to Susanna on the Move. Um, Thank you all for joining me on LinkedIn and YouTube channel. If you're joining me for the first time on either of the platform, you're welcome. And this is Susuana Olatunji-Komolafe, your host. I will be engaging you all on this conversation. So I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy the conversation alongside with me. Also, if you're joining for the first time, I will appreciate it if you subscribe on my YouTube channel. That would be wonderful. And also, you can follow me on LinkedIn, and you can as well drop your comments on this conversation as well. So you drop your comments and ask questions, send in contributions towards this conversation that we're having. And let me know if you're putting into practice any of the frameworks that we will be discussing today. If those frameworks is working for you, are you making use of it? Are you engaging others on it? What is happening? What are you doing with it? It's not just about coming in to listen to this conversation. The most critical part of this conversation is me knowing that you're going out there to make the change. You're becoming aware, and your awareness, you're intentionally becoming accountable for this awareness, and then you're taking actionable change to be able to bring it to life. So we're going to continue our conversation today. I'm going to put in the comment space if you like to, say, for example, you want to join me live here in the conversation, and you're thinking, oh, how can I join you live? So I'm going to put a link in the I'm going to put a link for you guys in the comment space, so you can use the link to join if you want to join. It allows you to be able to join. So just check your comment space, and I'm going to put it up as well on the screen for you to see. So, so if you look at the screen, where I'm streamlining there, you will see the link that you can use to join me if you want to. You see it on your YouTube channels, and you can as well just click on the comment, send me a message, and you can join me live. So if you want to join me live, for those of you watching me either on YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever you're watching, and you feel you want to come in live, link in the comment space. You see the link there, and you can just click on those links, and I can let you into the studio, so you can join me in the studio. But if you want to do that, just send me comments. So today we're going to continue the framework that we've been talking about. We've been having this conversation. What I'm doing is that I'm introducing something we've all known, but I'm introducing this and as an ideology, a new concept that we can embrace and use within our workplace, use within our community, put into policies within our establishments, in our different places of work. And that is, I'm talking about conscious bias. So that's what we're talking about, conscious bias. We've been talking about different episodes. Today is the 16th episode, so you can go back onto the YouTube channel and watch all other episodes of this program, this conversation that we're having. You can also see it on LinkedIn, so don't be limited to just a YouTube channel. But if you watch us on YouTube channel, please subscribe to my channel, Susanna on the Move, so you have an opportunity to watch it there. So what is conscious bias? I know that we what is this ideology all about, and how relevant, what will be the relevance of talking about this ideology, what it means to us, and what it means to the work I'm doing, um, and how does that relate to us, for those of us that are watching. What is it? Because you're wondering, what am I going to get from this? What am I going to get from watch this? So, if you are a leader, if you are a member of the community, um, if you are working in any form of capacity that you might be engaging, I'm hoping that you start putting this into practice in your businesses, in activities, in your communities, with the idea of what you're doing with your practically putting, um, you're practically putting into action. You're doing things to change the narrative. You're consciously participating in the process of the change. So, this presentation, the objective today, goal is for you to understand this conscious bias framework. Understand the biases. Conscious bias is essential for recognizing and addressing subtitle influences that shapes our perceptions and interactions within the diverse community and context. So, what I'm saying about understanding it is that, what is your perception? Can actually list down some of the prejudices that you believe you have, or biases you have. It could be one or two, just put it down. So, how can you shape that? How can I influence you in shaping that thought? And this is what you should be looking out for as you continue on this episode, or you watch the previous episode. And the interaction within the diverse community, that within your own community or with outside your own community, in the context of your own biases, how do you shape your perception? How do you modify your perception? How do you take accountability for that? And how do you accept that you have it, take the accountability, and make an actionable change? Um, one of the things we've talked about when we talk about the key concept of conscious bias, we've spoken about gender, we've spoken about race, and we spoke about religion. And my idea is that I'm going to concentrate on those three key aspects, and every other thing will be around it. So we're exploring religion, the role that religion play, a crucial role they play in shaping our understanding of biases, offering moral framework that encourage inclusivity, that encourage awareness in societal relationship and interaction. So, how applicable is that within, when you're talking about in the concept of religion, within um, your societal relationship? Present action. So, what actions are we taking? We said be inclusive. You know, this is the framework we're talking. We're talking about being aware of your um, biases, and the role that it plays within your religious environments. So, what action are you taking? Tell me, what action are you taking? So, actionable steps are necessary for dismantling prejudice and fostering inclusive practice. Now, if you've watched my previous I clearly define, and you can see that in some of my short videos on YouTube as well. What inclusivity means to me. That inclusivity to me does not mean that my light is dimmed. It does not mean that I'm going to be isolated. It does not mean that I have to dim myself. You know, it's about everyone being inclusive. It's about you considering that what I believed in is valid. My prejudices are valid. My biases are valid. My own stake are valid. My own inclusivity is valid. I'm not here to make you comfortable, to discomfort myself. It is about every one of us becoming aware. That is my own definition of inclusivity. Is about making everybody becoming aware. And being inclusive means accepting each other the way we are. Not about change, but accepting it, and then not allowing either our prejudice or your prejudice or my prejudice to affect us, but rather to shape the way we foster inclusiveness practice that unites various faith communities towards achieving social harmony and mutual uh, respect. And that is my objective with regard to this. So, how does religion as a bridge builder, bridges, building bridges, become using religion as a builder? You use ways to bridge to bridge builders. You use religion. You use gender. So, religion serves as a powerful cultural force that shapes our identities and values. By fostering unity, moral guidance, faith can be bridged divides, promoting understanding, collaboration among diverse community. What does that What am I saying in simplicity? Is using what you have. And the example I'm using here is your religion to bridge builders, to bridge builders. And that's what as a bridge builders, and that's what we're saying that yes, after becoming aware of your prejudice or biases, after taking that intentionality to becoming aware, then be intentional about being accountable, and then be intentional about taking actionable change. Actionable change. And that's what we're saying here. Forming collaboration using the different form of religions that we have. And on based on this concept of virtual workshop that we are having, I'm focusing on three main religion to use. So when I said to use, I'm just saying that. So let's say you're a Christian or you're a Muslim. How do you how do you use your faith in building bridges? Use it as a bridge builder. Use your faith in building bridges because it is important that whatever faith we share, that our faith does not compromise our identity or culture, that our faith is used to build bridges, in building bridges. Becoming awareness of your religious influence on biases. That how does your religion influence your biases or prejudice? How does your religion become influence it? Becoming aware of that, because when you become aware of the role that your religion, either a Christian, Muslim, African spirituality, whatever it is that you're doing, the moment you become aware, the power, consciously accepting that it does influence your biases or prejudice, it does influence it. Then, when you're aware of it, you have to be intentional in taking accountability to making a change, becoming intentionally aware and taking accountability. And the next thing is to take an actionable change. And this is what this is about, taking an actionable change in those areas. Openly laming religious influences. You know, accept that our religion does influence our biases and prejudice. So if you agree with me, you can drop this comments in the chat box. So what are you thinking? Are you acknowledging the impact of religion on biases is crucial? Are you acknowledging that? And by naming those influences, communities can foster great, greater awareness and encourage dialogue, ultimately working towards unity. Um, Today, most of us will be working in a diverse environment, in a diverse community. So just give us an example of a place you believe you are, in an environment you are, in an environment you believe you're working, and tell me what can you identify. So I want you all to do that. Take a book down, think of your workspace or where you go for your gym, or let's say your community, your marketplaces. Where have you been to that you don't see, or all the other us to become um, aware and understand the impact, the power that this plays. Don't take it for granted, my dear. Don't take it for granted. Don't take the influence that this could have. Don't take it for granted, the influence that this could have. Don't take it for granted, the influence. Don't take it for granted. So I'm looking out to see if there's any comments anyone is dropping, or anyone that would like to join and feel that this conversation, they would like to be part of it. I can invite you in. Yeah, I can invite you in. So, in this, when when we're talking about accountability, so first, we've spoken about awareness. You know, be intentional, become aware, accept uh, what you are seeing and what you feel and what you think. Then we move on to being accountable in faith. Accountable in faith. Now, as a Christian, one of the key things that we greatly pride ourselves in is stead worship. Stead worship. This is something we greatly pride ourselves in as Christians. And then it could be to say the motto of our faith, that we pride ourselves in. Christians' teaching emphasizes stead worship as a call, to care for others and the environment. So, caring for others include everything about our health, either spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. What is it? In whichever way you want to put it, you know, um, whichever way you want to put it. These all these areas of our lives as a Christian. When we talk about Islamic, they talk about justice. Justice, Islamic principles advocates for justice and equality, guiding followers towards accountability in action. That is what the ideology of Islam stands for. Holding holding themselves accountable to the faith, accountable to the faith, to their God, becoming and talking about justice. These are the core principle of their advocates is justice. Now, the African Communion Harmony talks about Africans, traditions, emphasis on communal, fostering a culture of mutual accountability and support. That is what the teaching stands for. That's what the teaching stands for. And if you have any other suggestions, you can drop them in the comment space, and I will be very, very much ready for that conversation with each one of you. So, faiths holding individuals accountable. So, as an individual, holding yourself accountable and others holding you accountable because you are part of the bigger community. You're part of it. So, and because you're part of it, you have to first take responsibility in taking accountability for yourself, and others will take accountability for themselves. Sorry, now I need to take a drip of water. I'm a little bit dry throat. Okay, so faith traditions instill a sense of responsibility in individuals. When we were talking about this, we paused and we discussed culture as the background. But then we went further to really let everyone understand that gender, race, and religion, these key aspects area of our life, all is based on our religious faith. It is based on that, and encouraging us to confront our biases within ourselves and our community. And this accountability fosters inclusive practice that promotes unity and understanding. So, what I'm saying is that you're good to confront your biases. Confront it, face up to it. And this, when you face up to it and you accept it, you understand what it means clearly. You won't repeat it because you understand it. You can see it. You can see it. So, as individual, it is expected to confront your biases. So yeah, um, with individual actionable step for inclusive practice. So what are the actions we are taking? Organizing an event, within our community here in Ireland. What are you doing? Where are you watching me from? What country? What nation are you watching me for? What is happening on your end? How is individual taking accountability, fostering change, um, confronting their biases? What steps are they taking? What step are they taking to make a difference? So we no, I am the framework. We give you suggestions of what you can do if you're using this framework. The framework will give you suggestions of what you can do, but at the same time, you can improvise your own, um, what you can use based on the people that is participating with you, and you can tailor it to their needs. It just depends. So, building inclusive communities, navigating, navigating, these. So, building inclusive community requires intentional collaboration. I've been talking so much about being intentional with your awareness, and being intentional when you're taking responsibility to be accountable. So, intentional collaboration, that means going out of your way to choose the people you collaborate with within this diverse community. Among these diverse faith groups, engaging in shared celebration and dialogue that foster understanding, unity, and respect across different religion, traditions, and belief. So, unity and respect across the different religious traditions and culture. So, what are the evidence based impact of conscious bias? So, like I said, this is a framework that can be used in different places. So I'm presenting the framework, and if you want me to come into your complaints, your places of woe, where is our schools, communities to use this framework to dialogue, to have a conscious bias dialogue with you all. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. So doing my research, it indicates that implementing conscious bias. I that was why I asked, you know, um, that we can jot down our own comments and put it in the comments bit. So the research indicates that implementing conscious bias framework in communities leads to improved social cohesion, reduce discrimination, and enhance accountability in policies, fostering environmental where diverse communities and voices are valued and heard. Valued and heard. Not just valued, but heard. And not just heard, but valued. We want the two to work together. Community safety, transformative community stories. So, so personally for myself, let me narrate and illustrate a positive impact through this framework of conscious bias framework, showcasing how faith informed actions fosters unity, understanding, and social transformation within the diverse community. I will give you an example of the one that is personal to myself and the one that I have witnessed. So I'm an Anglican, which is a Church of Ireland here. You can call it Church of England. You can call it an Anglican Communion in Nigeria, where I'm from. So what I've observed is that we form an alliance with the church with the Moravian Church. I don't know if you've ever heard about the Moravian Church, as most commonly within the Caribbean, but it's growing every day here in Ireland. So if you want to know a little bit about it, you can inbox me. I can give you um, I can give you a direction to that. So, in terms of you're thinking of a collaboration, in terms of a faith based collaboration, they are very open to collaborate with you, to have conversations, and to see where they are in terms of the uh, religious structures they have. So, here we're just talking about um, understanding this framework that you can use. Now, recently, I engaged in this whole idea of transformative education. And, you know, one of the key areas one of the things that came up from this transformative educational course that I did, and what does that mean? It's about changes to our educational system. That it is high time that we have alternative and a transformative um, education system that others can access. So within this framework, we're talking about transformative community stories. Transformative community stories. And some of these transformative community stories came from community engagements. So personal narrative illustrates the positive impact. So for myself, this conscious bias framework showcasing how faith informed actions have fostered unity. Remember, I said faith informed actions have fostered fosters unity, understanding, and social transformation within our diverse community. So, if you, in any form or shape, agree with this conversation, please drop it in the comments. If you want to understand more about the whole idea of conscious bias dialogue, um, conscious bias ideology concept, and the framework that we're putting together that can be used in terms of creating more of this awareness, talking more about these, sharing this within the community, elaborating on it, using this concept in your rooms when it comes to inclusivity. um, you get what I'm saying when I talked about this. So thank you all for listening, and I hope that we can meet again for the next level of conversation. Thank you.